The results say people are very happy with parks, waste services, and utilities, but the city's street conditions are lacking. Cheaper solar panels would allow Columbia to purchase even more solar panels like these ones behind me. And that means more green energy and more green in their pocket.
Music, it's fun to listen to, and some would even argue that's even more fun to play. And while you're having a good time playing those tunes, you're also changing the way your brain works. KOMU8's Spencer Wilson is live at St. Andrew's Church at Flute Fest to tell us what's all about.
Thanks, Michael. Now, here at Flute Fest, we're playing all sorts of different games revolving all around music. Now, several different types of people have actually performed music here earlier today, ranging from high school students to composers, and the benefits that come with playing that music are harmonious with education. Studies show kids score better in English and math classes if they're in top quality music programs, but the benefits don't stop there.
It really helps a lot. Because, you know, practicing is kind of the discipline you have to maintain along with doing your homework on time.
AMU professor of music education Wendy Sims says that quality of life is really important. You may leave school and forget some subjects, but you remember how to be happy and how to play music. High school student Emily Frankie couldn't learn how to play music soon enough.
I think my elementary school life would have been a lot better. I was bullied in elementary school, and it was kind of awful. I don't really remember a lot of it, but a lot of it was that I just didn't find a place where I fit in.
Sim said that one of the biggest things music does is change the way students think about the world, and Emily agrees.
So, seeing a piece of music, you're not just reading the notes, you're reading all of the stuff that's on the page, but then you're adding like the human element to it.
For composer Kate Bossy, music is something much, much more.
Music has the potential to stir the human spirit to greater things, and it has so much power to calm, to inspire. It's just something that we often overlook the importance of.
Now, Basie said that the power of music is something that's always been with humanity, and that's apparent here today at Flute Fest. You can see kids are playing a game called Flute, 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 which is akin to musical chairs. Reporting live here in Columbia, Spencer Wilson, KOMU 8 News.
Dinosaurs, dodo birds, and northern long-eared bats. Extinction is a real possibility.
Some people find the winged animals a little creepy, but what's really scary is what could happen if the problem goes unchecked. It could even impact the cost of your food. Missouri is on the front line of this problem right now and home to the leading researcher fighting it.
KOMU8 Spencer Wilson is here with more details. Spencer?
Bats are facing what's called a white nose syndrome, or WNS for short. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services has reported an 80% decline in the population of bats in the United States since it came from Europe in 2006. I've been working on the story for more than 6 months, and my reporting took me all across the state and even underground to learn why these bats are dying, what the fungus is, and if we can stop it.
And he is not enjoying it.
These bats are being checked for a fungus, and a lot of them don't pass. Scientists first detected white nose syndrome in Missouri back in 2010, but now it's made its way all around the state.
Now you can actually see that there's some white nose fungus on this little brown bat here within this Missouri cave. It affects anything along the wings, tails, and obviously from the nose, where we get white nose syndrome.
And while it may look like these bats have eaten too many powdered donuts, bat biologist Tony Elliott says the reality is very serious.
It causes mortality in bats that are hibernating in caves and mines, and we estimate that over 6 million bats have been killed by the disease.
Elliott says bats account for $5 billion of pest control on farms nationwide. Superintendent of Bradford Research Farms, Tim Reinbott, says that if the bats go, we'll notice.
When I mentioned corn earworms and corn borer, they come from moths. Moths lay their eggs on the corn, they hatch, their larvae is what attacks them. So the bats do a lot of insect control on that standpoint.
And Reinbott lives by what he says.
We actually have bat houses here on the research center, and we've placed them near crop fields as well as a water source, because that way they can feed on insects from the crops as well as from the water.
Missouri Bat Census Director Kirsten Alvey Mudd says it's not only the corn and the animals fed by that corn that we have to worry about.
The cost of our food is going to go up. We are actually a corn manufacturing state that produces ethanol and produces corn subsidies in our gas, and so it's going to cause our gas prices to go up.
So far, there is no cure. but there is hope. Research wildlife biologist Sybil Amelon has been working alongside other researchers around the nation to find a solution to the potential extinction of the bats, in the form of a microorganism that could stop the growth of the fungus.
So this winter we're actually trying some limited field experiments to see if we can get similar results in bats in the wild. So we're just being very guarded, but we did see enough to encourage us to go on.
Until then,
This breaks my heart.
When I'm at sites like those and it's a very long and very arduous and very depressing day to basically record the calamity and the casualties that have, occurred, then when I go and spend a couple of days in the lab or in the research facilities, those are the days that they kind of counterbalance each other, and it's kind of the happiness to the sadness, and it's what keeps us going.
Now, winter months can take a toll on sales of particular products, especially if it's raining or snowing out. I talked to vendors of both hot and cold treats tonight to see how they were doing. It can be tough on businesses when what you're selling only makes people colder. John Rodenbach is the assistant manager of Andy's Frozen Custard and has definitely noticed the drop-off.
Compared to the summer, business is not nearly as what it usually is, but after the first couple days of cold, everyone starts wearing their winter jackets and their gloves and everything, so business picks up again.
But on the other hand, sometimes sub-freezing temperatures mean more customers.
We get a lot of people who want to just come here and study in the wintertime, get something warm to drink.
Students and residents flock to coffee shops to get their hands on a hot cup of Java or tea. And even when the custard won't melt because of the cold, Andy's is still making sales.
We have a running joke that we put something in our custard because we have no idea why people come in the winter.
We just really love ice cream.
Yeah, cold never bothered me anyway.
Now, a report from the consumer statistics group NPD says restaurant customers are 3 times less likely to purchase ice cream in the winter months.